An 84-year-old woman vanishes from her home in the dead of night. She has limited mobility, she relies on daily medication to survive, and she happens to be the mother of one of the most famous morning television anchors in America. On January 31, 2026, Nancy Guthrie was dropped off at her Tucson, Arizona home right around 9:50 p.m. The following morning, she failed to log on for a scheduled live stream of her church service. When worried family members drove over to check on her, they found the back doors to the house propped open. Inside, Nancy's phone was still there. Her purse was sitting in the house. Most alarmingly, her essential daily medications had been left behind. Pima County Sheriff's deputies responded to the 911 call, and within minutes they ruled out the possibility that she had wandered off. Given her physical limitations and the items left untouched, investigators immediately locked down the property and initiated an abduction investigation. An elderly woman who could barely walk 50 yards on her own had been extracted from a house left completely empty. In an instant, a routine Sunday morning welfare check escalated into a national mystery. Just outside the front entrance, investigators found a trail of blood leading away from the home. Forensic testing on those bloodstains came back with a match. The DNA belonged to Nancy. This confirmed a physical struggle had taken place on the property before she was removed. The FBI eventually bypassed the damage on the doorbell camera to recover its final recording. This chart shows the window of time investigators had to account for. After Nancy was dropped off at 9:50 p.m., the property sat quiet for almost 4 hours. Then, at 1:47 a.m., the recovered footage captures a masked individual wearing an Ozark Trail backpack approaching the door and tampering with the camera lens. The footage reveals erratic behavior. The intruder is armed, but the gun is improperly shoved into a crotch holster. When they fail to knock the camera off its mount with light taps, they try to cover the lens with a potted plant. 40 minutes later, at 2:28 a.m., Nancy's bedside pacemaker monitor missed its scheduled transmission. The combination of spilled blood and the armed yet amateurish behavior of the intruder suggests a chaotic extraction rather than a clean professional operation. Desperate for answers, Savannah Guthrie and her siblings turned to the public. They offered a $1 million reward and broadcast a clear message across social media, telling the kidnappers they were ready to pay. Almost immediately, media outlets reported receiving ransom notes. The messages demanded millions of dollars, specifying that the payment be made in Bitcoin to a particular cryptocurrency address. The FBI quickly realized they were dealing with opportunists. Many of these publicized demands were deemed hoaxes, a point punctuated when federal agents arrested a California man for posing as the abductor to extort the family. Every fake tip and fraudulent email diverted critical law enforcement resources. Detectives were forced to chase down digital noise, leading to dead-end searches and the brief detention of a man in Rio Rico who was later cleared of any involvement. Fame acts as a double-edged sword. While it amplifies the search, it also turns the investigation into a public circus, allowing the real perpetrators to hide behind a wall of digital extortionists. On May 6th, about 90 minutes into the live broadcast of The Today Show, Savannah Guthrie abruptly and quietly left the anchor desk. NBC producers had previously implemented strict procedures for this scenario. If breaking news regarding the kidnapping surfaces while the show is on the air, Savannah is required to be sequestered off-set immediately so she can be briefed in private. This sudden exit aligned with the discovery of a new forensic lead. Investigators recovered a rootless hair from the scene and sent it to the FBI laboratory in Quantico for advanced testing. Analyzing the evidence, criminal profilers began floating a new theory. They suspect the person responsible was someone familiar with Nancy, and that the bumbling intruder seen on the doorbell camera might have just been a pawn for a larger organizer. For Savannah Guthrie, these developments compound a devastating personal burden. She has publicly wrestled with the fear that her own visibility and wealth directly made her mother a target. Despite massive federal intervention and a $1 million reward, the search continues. A high-profile abduction has left a family with nothing but an empty house, a trail of blood,